They say a woman who rejects every man is either waiting for a king or running from a curse. Adaeze rejected them all, the wealthy, the handsome, the powerful. But when the last suitor arrived, smiling with teeth too white and eyes too knowing, her mother wept, and not from joy. This is the story of the woman who thought she knew what she wanted, until she got exactly what she asked for.
Welcome home to Tales from the Baobab, where wisdom lives in stories.
In the village of Umwora, where the river Omambala sang to the fishermen and the palm trees danced in the harmattan wind, there lived a woman whose beauty was the subject of every evening's conversation. Her name was Adaeze, daughter of the king, though her father was no king, just a successful yam farmer with enough wealth to give his only daughter the confidence of royalty. And Adaeze, she carried herself like the morning sun, arriving when she pleased and making everyone stop to admire. "My daughter," her mother, Mama Nkechi, would say, "beauty without humility is like a river without water. It looks impressive but serves no purpose." But Adaeze would only smile, adjusting her coral beads. "Mama, why should I settle for any man when I can wait for the man?" And the suitors came. Oh, how they came. First was Obi, the blacksmith's son, arms like iron, shoulders broad as a barn door. He brought her a necklace he'd forged himself, each link shaped like a tiny heart. "Adaeze," he said, kneeling, "I may work with fire, but you are the only flame I cannot control." Adaeze looked at his soot-stained fingers and laughed. "A woman of my beauty needs a man whose hands are as clean as his intentions. Go back to your fire, Obi." The village elders shook their heads. "Pride goes before a fall," they murmured, but Adaeze didn't hear them. Then came Chima, the trader who traveled to distant lands. He arrived with fabric so fine they seemed woven from sunset itself. Gold-threaded Ankara, indigo so deep you could drown in it. "Adaeze," he said, spreading the cloths before her like a carpet of dreams, "I have crossed deserts and mountains, but no treasure compares to you. Be my wife, and you will dress like queens in the stories." She touched the fabric, felt its softness, saw her own reflection in his hopeful eyes. Then she said, "A man who is always traveling is a man who is never home. What use is a husband I never see? I need someone who will be here to appreciate this beauty every day." Chima gathered his fabrics in silence and left. The women at the stream whispered, "She will regret this. A good man rejected is a blessing lost." You see, my friends, the elders say, the one who rejects a right fruit to wait for a better one may end up with none at all. But Adaeze believed she was the exception to every proverb. That's the thing about pride. It makes you feel like wisdom doesn't apply to you. But the ancestors were watching, and they were about to teach her why old stories never die.
The rejections became legendary. Adaeze turned down Emeka because he laughed too loudly, Dubem because he was too quiet, Ikenna because his family had too many children. "I wouldn't be a nursemaid to someone else's siblings," she declared. Even the chief's son, Namdi, tall, educated, with a government position in the city, even he was rejected. What was wrong with Namdi, her best friend Amara asked, exasperated. "He is perfect." Adaeze adjusted her wrapper with a theatrical sigh. "He is too perfect. A man that polished must be hiding something. I need authenticity, Amara. I need rawness. I need someone who surprises me." Amara stared at her. "You are not looking for a husband. You are looking for a folk tale." "Maybe," Adaeze smiled, "but when he comes, everyone will know he was worth the wait." That evening, Mama Nkechi sat her daughter down, her voice heavy with concern. "Adaeze, I have watched you reject 15 good men. 15. Do you know what people are saying? They say you are cursed. They say you have sworn an oath to a spirit husband in the river. They say, Adaeze interrupted. "Let them say what they want. I know my worth, Mama, and I will not apologize for it." Mama Nkechi's eyes filled with tears. "My daughter, there's a difference between knowing your worth and pricing yourself out of happiness. Even gold must be willing to be shaped into jewelry to be worn." But Adaeze had already turned away, looking out at the moon. She didn't see her mother's lips moving in silent prayer. Ancestors, protect my foolish child from her own mouth. Here's what Adaeze didn't understand yet. The antelope that mocks every trap will eventually walk into one it doesn't recognize. And that trap was coming, not with weapons, but with a smile.
The suitors had stopped coming. Adaeze's name, once sweet in men's mouths, had become a cautionary tale. Mothers told their sons, "Don't waste your time on that one. She'll reject the sun for not being bright enough." Adaeze pretended not to notice the silence, but at night, alone on her mat, she would touch her own face, wondering if beauty without a witness still mattered. Then, he arrived. He came on a Tuesday when the mist still clung to the compounds like secrets. No one saw him enter. He was just there, standing at the edge of the market, watching. His name, he said, was Ike. Just Ike. He wasn't the tallest or the strongest. His skin wasn't particularly remarkable. His clothes were simple. But there was something about him, something in the way he looked at things, as if he could see past the surface into the core. And his smile, God, his smile, it was perfect. Too perfect, like a mask that fits so well you forgot it wasn't a face. "You must be Adaeze," he said when their paths crossed at the palm wine seller's stall. His voice was honey mixed with smoke. "You've heard of me." She tried to sound disinterested, but curiosity sparked in her eyes. "The whole region has heard of you. The woman too wise to settle, too discerning to be fooled by ordinary men." She smiled despite herself. Finally, someone who understood. "And you?" she asked. "What makes you different from all the others who tried?" Ike's smile widened. "I'm not here to try. I'm here because you and I are the same. We both know the world has tried to give us less than we deserve. We both know we're meant for something more." No man had ever spoken to her like this, like an equal, like a mirror. Over the next few weeks, Ike courted Adaeze differently. He didn't bring gifts. "Material things insult your intelligence," he said. Instead, he brought conversations, stories, dreams. He spoke of distant places he had been, but never bragged. He listened to her speak about herself without interrupting, a rarity among men. He laughed at her jokes, but never mocked her when she was serious. He was in every way exactly what she'd asked for. "Adaeze," Amara warned one evening, "don't you think it's strange that he's perfect in every way you wanted? Like he was designed for you?" Adaeze waved her off. "You are just jealous that I didn't settle like you did." Amara flinched, but she pressed on. "My husband may be simple, but he's real. This Ike, sister, he doesn't feel real. Have you noticed he casts no shadow at noon? Have you seen him eat anything? You sound like a suspicious old woman. Just because he's refined doesn't mean he's a spirit." But that night, alone, she did think about it. When was the last time she had seen Ike in full sunlight? The elders warn, when something seems too perfect, ask yourself, what am I not seeing? But pride is a powerful blindfold, and Adaeze had worn hers for so long she'd forgotten what clarity felt like.
The wedding was planned for the next full moon. Mama Nkechi had reluctantly agreed, though her spirit remained troubled. The village prepared, though their joy felt muted. The night before the traditional wine-carrying ceremony, Adaeze couldn't sleep. She lay on her mat, staring at the thatch roof, Amara's words circling her mind like vultures. "No shadow at noon, never eats, too perfect." "I'm being ridiculous," she whispered to herself. But her grandmother's voice echoed from childhood. "When your spirit is uneasy, listen. It knows what your mind refuses to see." Adaeze wrapped herself in a dark cloth and crept through the village to the herbalist's hut, old Mama Adaora, who could see what others couldn't. "I knew you would come," the old woman said before Adaeze could speak. She was grinding herbs, the mortar and pestle making a rhythm like a heartbeat. "Tell me about Ike," Adaeze whispered. "Tell me he's real." Mama Adaora stopped grinding. Her ancient eyes found Adaeze's young ones. "Pour this powder in his palm wine tomorrow. If he's human, nothing will happen. If he is not," she didn't finish. The ceremony was beautiful. Drums, dancing, the whole village gathered. Ike sat among the elders, that perfect smile fixed in place. Adaeze watched him from across the compound, the leather pouch heavy in her wrapper. When she brought him the ceremonial palm wine, her hands trembled. She'd mixed the powder in, just a pinch. "To us," Ike said, raising the calabash, "to getting exactly what we want." He drank. For a moment, nothing happened. Then his smile began to slip. Not fade, slip, like a mask made of wax beginning to melt. The villagers gasped. His handsome face rippled like water disturbed by a stone. Underneath, something else was emerging. Not hideous, not monstrous, but not human. His skin became like bark, his eyes like polished stones, his fingers long and wooden like branches. "You," Adaeze stumbled backward. "What are you?" When he spoke, his voice was like wind through dry leaves. "I am what you asked for, what you called for, every man you rejected, every standard you raised, every impossible wish you made. I was built from those words. I am the spirit of impossible expectations, Adaeze, and you summoned me." Mama Adaora stepped forward, her staff planted firmly. "He is an echo, a forest spirit that takes shape from human desire. When a person's wants become so specific, so impossible, that no real human can fulfill them, these spirits answer the call. They become the perfect illusion, and then they take you back to the forest, where you remain forever married to your own pride." Adaeze fell to her knees. "I didn't know. I didn't mean." The spirit Ike tilted his head almost sadly. "But you did mean it. Every rejection, every dismissal, every time you said not good enough, you meant it. And now I am here, exactly what you asked for. Will you reject me too? Or will you keep your word and marry what you created?"
Time stopped. The drums were silent. Even the wind held its breath. Adaeze looked at the spirit thing that had been Ike. Then she looked at the villagers, at Mama Nketi's tears, at Amara's pain, at old Obi the blacksmith standing at the back, his face sad but not angry. She thought of all the real men she'd rejected. Imperfect, yes. Human, yes. But real, true, present. "I was wrong," she said, her voice breaking. "I reject you, not because you are not good enough, but because you are not real. I reject the impossible. I reject the perfect. She turned to the villagers. "I reject the woman I became, the one who confused standards with walls, who mistook pride for wisdom." The spirit smiled, genuinely this time. "You have learned. That is all we spirits ever want from humans, learning. You are free, Adaeze, but remember this feeling. Remember what it costs to refuse every gift until none remain." And like smoke, he vanished. They say Adaeze never regained her old pride. Some called it humility, others called it wisdom. She married eventually. Obi, the blacksmith, whose soot-stained hands built her a home stronger than any in the village, whose laughter filled their compound, who was imperfect and human and real. On their wedding day, Mama Ngeti whispered to her daughter, "Do you see now? Love is not about finding perfection. It is about finding truth." Adaeze smiled, touching Ubi's rough hands with her soft ones. "I see it, Mama. I finally see." And under the old Baobab tree where the elders still gather to share wisdom, they added Adaze's story to the collection, a reminder that the one who demands perfection will one day meet it and discover that perfection has no heartbeat. And that, my friends, is where wisdom lives, in stories that remind us who we are and who we could become. If this story stirred something in you, if Adaze's journey felt familiar, or if you simply want to keep the ancient wisdom alive, let us know in the comments. What would you have done in her place? Have you ever rejected something good while waiting for perfect? And if you are new to Tales from the Baobab, welcome to the gathering. We sit under this tree every week, sharing the stories that shaped our ancestors, stories that still shape us today. Subscribe and become part of this circle, because these aren't just tales. They are mirrors, they are maps, they are medicine. Until we meet again under the Baobab, may your choices be wise, your heart be discerning, and your love be real. Odima, it is well. Tales from the Baobab, where wisdom lives in stories.